What's up, Fit Fam? This is Giovanni of Gioslogic, your host of Fitness Junkies. Well, it's that time again. That's right, the world according to Gioslogic. That's me, Giovanni. So every 10 or 12 episodes, I like to go back and give my opinion on maybe my favorite, or not favorite, but the clips that I really like. So I like to give my opinion because on the episodes, usually you're just hearing the guests talk about their opinion. I don't really try and chime in too much. So this is my opportunity to let you know how I'm thinking about all the topics I cover on the show. So let's get into it, fam. This first one is so dear to my heart. Flex Lewis. He's the man.
Time to find that void. There was a massive hole missing in my day-to-day, I guess, that the bodybuilding gave me. You know, that I mentioned earlier, the struggle of getting up, but yet I had the goal, whether it was 12 weeks out or a week out. I knew something was coming. But when I didn't have that, I felt like I was in this hamster wheel of day-to-day. And yes, there was things coming up and events and stuff like that, but it wasn't something that I was killing myself for. And I think I found it now, and that's public speaking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, for sure.
So public speaking is very similar to bodybuilding, where if you don't do the preparation for it, you're just gonna look like an idiot up on stage. And it scares me, it excites me, it demands, again, a little bit of soul searching. Because I grew up, again, like I said, dyslexia, speech impairment, I had a crazy lisp.
You did?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it when I'm speaking, but I've really worked hard to at a young age, I worked hard to get a speech, what do you call it, speech therapist.
Yeah.
So now to find myself on, and also I hated to be up on stage speaking.
Right, in front of people.
And then when I got into bodybuilding, they were like, okay, tell us how you won in a pair of posing trunks, you know? So I think I've gone through the stages of, you know, they say visualize everybody naked on the stage. Yeah. Well, I was fucking naked on the stage in a pair of posing trunks.
Man, that's a tough one. You know, I always wonder, like, you know, how some of these careers in sports, they end so early, you know, like there's not very many football players over 35 or basketball or any professional sport. And bodybuilding's similar, but they do have senior competition divisions, masters they call it. But that's not the part of this that speaks to me. When I don't have something like a goal, like I'm really focusing on, not like work, not like the grind to pay the bills, but something that inspires me, something that my dream, like if I'm not pursuing something that's bigger than just the day-to-day, I feel lost. I really feel like I don't have anything to strive for, anything that makes me excited when I wake up in the morning. And that's really what I got out of this clip. And even though his levels were totally different, like he's talking about, you know, going for his 7th or 8th, you know, bodybuilding Mr. Olympia championship. I'm talking about chasing my dreams. They're all similar and they mean something more to him as far as in bodybuilding. But what I'm doing has a lot of meaning for me as well. So it's just something about like having something to strive for. I don't know if, I know when I get down, if I don't have something I'm striving for, something I'm working on, and even more than just my body or anything like that, but something that's going to leave my mark. If I don't have that in my life, I just don't have it. I just feel empty. So I guess my point is that find something in your life, if you don't have it, that lights you up and pursue it, whether it's on the weekends or when you can, after work, after all your responsibilities. but you'll find that that will really keep you positive. So let's listen to the next one.
You're on the Mount Rushmore of bodybuilding.
My man.
I'm going to go Arnold, Lee Haney, you. I'm not sure who number 4 is.
Oh, who cares about number 4? I made the mix. Who cares? I'll take 2 spots.
I'm going to say Jay, maybe. He's
Jay's
got
a good
4,
one.
right?
Yeah, Jay's a good one.
So
Ronnie Coleman, I'd throw in the mix.
It's one of those two, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
But again, it's who
Put
you
5 of them out
had.
there.
It's who you had that not just inspired you, right? But brought something out of you that maybe you didn't know you had. So that Mount Rushmore differs from people to people. You might see the odd 1 or 2 people in there, but my Mount Rushmore is going to be different to yours. John, your Mount Rushmore is going to be different. And it goes in every sport. It's whatever era you watched that sport in, and whoever made that impact for you in your life at that point in time.
Agreed. But if you ever go to a UFC fight and you see this guy walk through the crowd, you're 100% right. Like it's obvious, like because everyone knows who you are. When we are at the Apex, or I see you at T-Mobile sometimes, you don't even know I'm watching you as you come in, and I see the people like start and like they tap the guy next to him and they start pointing, and it's not because they think you're Conor McGregor. They know who you are.
Well, yeah, another flex. That was my 100th episode of a podcast, of this podcast. And so I thought I'd do 2 clips from that episode. And this Mount Rushmore idea I came up with, thought it'd be kind of clever. And, of course, Flex was right. It's like each person does have their own Mount Rushmore of bodybuilding. And some people go like, what? Who? Or actually, I should say most people will go like, who are you talking about? Lee Haney? Who's that? So if you're old like me, you'll know that Lee Haney was one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. He came after Arnold, before Jay Cutler and all that, those huge monsters, and of course before Flex, different categories. I don't know when the 212 Flex Lewis was a 212 champion, which is not the heavier weight champions, and I'm not sure. I believe Lee Haney was. I don't even know if they had 212 back when Lee Haney was doing his. I think he did 8 in a row. But Lee Haney was probably the most inspirational to me because he was in that era where I was reading the magazines and I was totally into bodybuilding. I never wanted to do it. I never have done it. I just can't see myself, like Flex was saying, in a fucking, ball hammock on stage getting judged for every little roll or piece of fat or softness, or I just never could. I never had the courage to anyway. But yeah, Lee Haney, if you don't know who he is, Google him and you'll see what kind of physique he had, and his run at the Mr. O was pretty amazing. So who is your Mount Rushmore? I mean, Arnold holds a place as well. And then Jay is amazing. Ronnie Coleman's amazing. Flex is amazing. All these guys that win multiple or back-to-back and just crush it. I'm inspired by all those guys. And yeah, take the whole steroid thing out of it. Steroids aren't magic pills. If you don't do the work, and I'm talking about some serious work, you're not winning 7 or 8 in a row. Promise. No pill will win that show. Trust me. So now let's look at the next one.
Talk about the evolution of maybe going from vanity to longevity.
Yeah, it's subtle shift, and you realize one day you're like, man, I'm not that dude anymore that used to be so obsessed with how I looked, and that was all I thought about, with the pure intention of either getting a girl or whatever it was. Right. And then somewhere along the line, probably when I had kids and I started becoming more responsible, it shifted into this understanding. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
And in the comics, it says, with great power comes great responsibility.
Spider-Man.
Right? Yeah. So either one of those, I understood that I'm sort of an anomaly, as are you. And with that standing out in the crowd, we now are responsible for this, to share the message of, hey, just get up and exercise. So it wasn't any one day that I woke up and realized that I had shifted. I had just shifted along the way, because we grow as humans. And you used the word evolution. That is truly what it is.
Man, I just love Clark, man. He's so cool. That dude, I remember looking at magazines and always seeing this dude on the cover of Flex magazine and Iron Man and all these magazines, always diced to the core. This guy, back in the day, I mean, I've been a fan of his forever, and then finally getting to meet him and then doing a couple podcasts with him. He's such a great guy. Now he's battling some health issues, and he's taking that by the horns, and he's killing that. He's just a great guy, great fitness mentor, and we're like from the same era. You know, I think we're both born in 64 or 65. I don't remember when his birthday, but we're both 60, and we're both outliers for most 60-year-old guys. And it's weird. I don't remember, like he said, it wasn't actually a day where you just go, I'm no longer working out because I want to be attractive to other women, or so I can feel comfortable or confident naked or at the pool or anything like that. But I'm now focusing on longevity and living, thriving longer, not getting old like you see people. It's so weird. It's like I think about my life as it's weird. Like as a kid, you would look at somebody and they were in their 60s and you'd be like, wow, you're old. And it's like, now that I'm there, it's like, wow, I don't feel that number. Why don't I feel that number? I feel good. I feel strong. I feel like I don't look like most 60-year-olds. And because I don't look like it, it's probably a good chance I don't feel like it either. Like my things like my libido and like my interests and like the way I dress. It's like I don't feel or identify with that number. So I'm not gonna roll over and call it a game. But it's weird. It's like and it's also kind of, I always tell my clients, there's all the side benefits of losing weight, because all the health and longevity things it does for you. So, it's just, all the little things you need to put into your bag of tricks to stay motivated, to say no to that extra piece of cake, or to say no to the free food after you just had breakfast and they brought donuts into work, to be strong enough to know that there's a reason that you're eating clean, because now the motivation, now the laser focus is, I want to live long and healthy, and I don't want to get sick and old, and that's why I do this. And that's why I had to ask my boy what his thoughts were, and those are my thoughts.
We have all levels in our gym. So we have people that's never stepped foot in the gym, to our lifestylers, to our professional bodybuilders that come in. Our gym, it's not a bodybuilding gym. I like to say it's a lifestyle gym. It's a gym for everybody. You know what I mean? And I like that environment. And we have a great environment where the super serious professional bodybuilders interact with the first timers, and everyone mixes really well together.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy with that. I know, like, you know how as bodybuilders, we kind of like to, we're in our ways. We like to have our equipment to ourselves. You don't like to, really share, and we're in our zone, right? We're serious. We got a competition to win. They've been good in our gym as far as being able to, like, play nice with the lifestylers and still get their hardcore workout in, and it's fun.
And be respectful too, because a lot of tripods in that gym.
Yeah.
And I think most of the, I would call them boutique gyms like that, they allow people to come in and bring those in. But I think everyone seems to be really respectful.
They are. Like, it's not out of hand in our gym. They're not really in the way. Maybe a cute few here and there, and that's just like the way of the world today. But I do have the policy, like, if your tripod's up, like, it can't be in anybody's way. You can't be blocking a machine, and you have to be okay with people walking in front of your camera. That's what editing's for.
Lisa is great. Yes, she's the manager of Elevation Fitness in Las Vegas, Rainbow and Flamingo, and it's a great gym. Energy there is really positive. It looks so cool. You got to check it out. You can do a $30 workout or day pass, and just get the vibe and get a good pump in. I sometimes like doing that, going to other gyms and just getting a vibe, a different energy. And if you want a good energy and you want good equipment, it's never too crowded. I can't ever remember having to wait. And people are adult about it. If you want to work in and it makes sense with their rest periods, then they're going to be okay with it. Or they just tell you one more set, but it's a really cool vibe. It's like they got a little front kind of eating area where people chill and they microwave their food and get their meals in, because you bodybuilders got to get your meals in. But yeah, they've been a great sponsor of the show. I've gotten some great content from their actually guest on the show. So I just want to thank Angel, the owner, and Lisa and James. You guys are all cool AF. So let's check out the next one.
I did my first show in 2020, and then I qualified. I won the show, and then I qualified for the national the next month. It was December 2020, USA's big show, and I got my pro card.
Wow.
She won the overall USA's,
And did that qualify you for Olympia as well?
No, I just
turned pro.
Okay. And then you had to win another show, right? Or to qualify Olympia?
After the USA's, I did my pro debut. I think it was in May 2021 in Milwaukee. I got top 5. And then I did
Chicago Pro.
Chicago Pro in July, and I got second. And that time, the Olympia, the first and second qualified for the Olympia. That time. Because wellness was new. Now we're on the first place.
Right.
And that was the first time I went to the Olympia. It's 2021. The first time they have wellness at the Olympia.
Right.
Wow. I just think Bruna is special. I'm such a fan. I really want her to win, and she's got the genetics. She's got that genetic genes that creates the glutes from heaven. And Nate is just so cool. And they're my first bodybuilding couple on the show. And that was great because I was a fan of Bruna, and it was great to have a couple, a bodybuilding couple. Like he's done some shows. He's done a lot of shows actually, and he's a trainer, great trainer. But just a super fan of hers. I love her. She went on to talk about how she hopes that wellness doesn't go too far with the size. Every division seems to like start off wanting to be like even bikini, like bikini was almost like a swimsuit competition, and now you gotta come with some muscle and some conditioning. Wellness started off with a bit of a combination of bikini and muscle, like figure. So you had, more muscle, and now it's becoming more and more muscle, and legs are getting bigger and glutes are getting bigger. And she just hopes that the aesthetics of bikini stays a part of that division, because she doesn't want to be forced to just, become a mass monster like, men's overall or whatever. Even men's physique. It's like men's physique, those guys are so big, especially on top. I mean, their legs don't have to get as big as men's bodybuilding, but I just feel like I agree with her there, that I hope the aesthetics of the bikini, not being too muscular, stays on to wellness and doesn't go, like from basically kind of half and half to, 60-40, 70-30, and then, oh, wasn't this supposed to be some bikini? Where did that go? But Bruna is so great. Nate is great. It was a fun episode. You should check it out next time you're hanging out on YouTube or Spotify.
Universal problem that transcends disciplines, whether you're a surgeon or you're a trainer or you're a dietitian or, so many things. I think we all kind of run into this problem where you work with somebody, you can get them better, but old habits die hard. There's this really good book by Ray Dalio called Principles, and it kind of talks about how certain concepts should be ingrained. And but his book was about wealth and building wealth and and sustaining wealth through no matter what economic conditions there are. Whereas we're talking about how do we keep you looking good no matter what conditions you are. No matter how much money you have in your bank account, no matter how much time you have, no matter what life throws your way, how do you stay looking good? And it's by adhering to certain principles.
Dr. J, my friendly neighborhood plastic surgeon, and partner. We have a partnership. He's one of the very few plastic surgeons that seem to really care about their clients. And we partnered with kind of an aftercare for clients that are more into the aesthetics of weight loss. And he believes so strongly that his clients need to do something on their own and not just rely on surgical procedures to sustain the changes that they get from the surgical procedures. So he basically gifts them the gift of a personal trainer, me, and we hopefully get them on a pathway of knowing that what he does is only part of the way, and those principles that he was talking about, the consistency, the discipline, things that I have ingrained in myself, and I can help people start to incorporate some of those things in their life so that they don't have to come back and necessarily do the same, tummy tuck again or liposuction or whatever. And that was so cool to hear that someone that you would think that just wants to get you under the knife and take your money and send you on your way, and hopefully you don't come back, or maybe I'm expecting you back because you're probably not going to change your habits. Just knowing that there's doctors out there that believe in health and fitness and nutrition and all the things that I believe in. So great episode. He's more than just a plastic surgeon, and I can testify to that. Really cool guy, really awesome practice. here in Las Vegas as well. Yeah, it's a great episode. You should check it out. Let's see the next one. There's all these different looks and judges, and like, how do you put all that in a formula? It's crazy.
So it's all data collection, right?
Okay.
Especially like the judges thing, that's a whole nother bit of data, right? It's like, oh, we're going to put you in front of Steve, we're going to put you in front of Sandy, Tyler. So those are the best judges, right? They have a very similar look between those ones.
Right.
But then you go in front of like other judges too that might like a harder girl, in Brazil, sometimes they like a harder girl. In the UK, sometimes like a harder girl. And it's not like, it's just different judges that happen to be there that day.
And you factor that in?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, wow.
You factor in who's doing the show, how are you going to look next to them? Like it's so next. Like people have no idea what really happens. Like,
wow.
If you're going, let's say for example, you're going against a Jennifer Dory and a Laura Lee, they're bigger up top, right? You're not going to, if you know they're doing the show, you're not going to throw your smaller girls at that show. They're going to look too small. You haven't, let's say Issa Pizzini's going in, she's a smaller frame girl. Yeah, that's a perfect show for a smaller girl to go up against, right? So, and in that case, yeah, you might lose to her, but you could throw your smaller girl against her and get compared next to her and see where she's really at, and you might be able to have an upset. But if you throw that same smaller girl against a Laura Lee and Jennifer at the same show, she's going to look tiny. She wouldn't even get a first call out.
Yeah, man, this dude, Adam Mania, Team Elite Physique, bodybuilding team, this guy is next level. I mean, I learned so much from this episode. He is so, what's the word? Like, it's just, he encompasses everything. He's like so data oriented. He's like a computer mind in bodybuilding, and he's obsessed with winning. And he's got this, desire to win. He's dialed in the whole process of bodybuilding and changing your body and sustaining it and coming on stage at your best. He's got one of the top, let me rewind that. He's got the queen of bikini bodybuilding, Ashley, as a client. And I can't even think they're client. You can't even call her a client anymore. They've attacked the bikini division for 10 years now, maybe longer. I don't know, by the time this comes out, she might be at 50 wins in the bikini division. 50. I didn't say 15. 50 wins. And Adam was a big part in that success. Whether you're wanting to do a bucket list and get on stage, whether you really want to be a bodybuilding athlete or you are one, or you just want to be the best you in life, you should really reach out to them and talk to one of their coaches or Adam and get involved, and you'll be in really good hands because he's really smart, and smart is good. Let's go check out the next one.
He's like, you know what, Sarah, if you'd make some extra meals, I would buy them. And okay, I was like, that's kind of an interesting idea.
And this was recent though. This is
2.5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I'm like, all right, well, I guess I could consider that, but his meals would need to be different sizes than mine. And as I was already writing his plans, and I remember I was thinking that I really don't want to cook for people. I don't. I don't even like to do my own meal prep. And working the way I did and raising my son and how busy I am with his sports and his school and everything, I actually, for about 2 to 3 years, I was preparing 90 meals at a time for myself. I bought a 7-foot cubicle freezer that holds 90 meals. And so I would prep my entire month in one day. It would take me 2 days. I would spend 8 hours a day, 16 hours prepping 90 meals, and I would have my entire meal plan for the month in my freezer. It was the only way for me to be successful, to be the athlete that I had become and be a single mom and work all that I was working. And so I would post my kitchen table plus extra tables of all my meals. And I posted that for a good 2 or 3 years. And I had so many people always writing, oh, you're so inspirational.
And Sarah is so inspirational. I truly love single moms. a single mom raised me, so I have an affinity and a really warm place in my heart for all single moms that are doing it. And she's doing it so big. It's like, I love that she just decided that she was going to step outside of her comfort zone and create a world, a business that is in the fitness world that kind of will help her in her efforts to be healthy and fit, and teach that to her son and help people change their lives through eating healthy. And it's just such a great story. It's like, there's so many people struggling, especially single moms that are maybe doing jobs that they hate just to make pay the bills, maybe doing multiple jobs, and you're stuck and you're afraid to take a chance because it's scary. And she did, and she was so great on the episode. She was so great, but she was so nervous. But I was so inspired. I mean, she's got so many inspiring stories. We only got through a few of them. Her food is great, meal prep. And you should try her food, and you should watch the whole episode. You'll really enjoy it on Spotify or YouTube right now. And let's check out the next one.
Hospitals have the worst food. Half the people, if not more, are either overweight or obese. And it's like, you're supposed to be the beacons of health.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's so disheartening, right? Because you get into the healthcare industry because you want to help people take care of their health. And then when you're on the inside of it, you see how rundown employees are, that we work 12-hour shifts as a nurse. Yeah. Overworked, underpaid. You're reaching for the bad choices, when you're at the hospital. Hospital food isn't very healthy. So it's weird, because here you are taking health advice from somebody who, let's be honest. You want to take advice from somebody who looks the way you want to look. You walk into the hospital and there's this overweight doctor telling you about your cholesterol or your diabetes, and you're looking at him like, right. Did you get yours checked? It's so like disheartening, but at the same time, I'm just one person, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to become a nurse practitioner, but work specifically in the space of like hormone replacement, functional medicine.
Yeah, Janine, love her. Another single mom doing it. God, her body is ridiculous. It's so funny. She was like, on the episode, she was like, we talked about how genetics plays a big role, in competitive bodybuilding. And initially she didn't think she had good genetics. And like, my God, if you see her pictures, and you will see them, she's just crazy. But the healthcare system and her coming from it, and all the nurses I do know that are just being crushed by the abundance of work and just the bad food that's in the hospitals that are being gifted to the nurses, the doctors. It's like they're surrounded by unhealthy habits and unhealthy foods, and they're trying to help people live healthier lives, but they've only been taught to medicate them. It's just this vicious circle of good people trying to help sick people in this environment of poor food choices and work stress, poor work-life balance. Like, it's just a sick system, and I don't really know what we're gonna do. It's on a snowball to the bottom as far as the health of this nation. And I can't tell you how many nurses that talk about how beat down they are, and most of them are just really good people that are trying to help people. And I don't know what to say about it, but like, I don't know, how can you be a representative of good health or a person that you're going to for good health to be healed, and they're sick and you can see it on them? Like, when you see someone that's out of shape, that usually means that they're sick or incubating sickness. So it's not to point a finger or fat shaming or anything like that, but our bodies tell the story, and it's unfortunate, that it just beats down a lot of doctors and nurses. And I am so proud and happy of the ones that say, no, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to live the life, walk the walk, and talk the talk, and do exercise, and do eat clean. You are the people that got to spread the word to your coworkers and your peers that how can you be promoting good health with a sick body? It just doesn't make sense. But lovely episode. You got to watch it on Spotify right now. Let's see the next one.
There's been so many diets and trendy diets and yo-yo diets and these like dangling carrots of just cut out all carbs, right. Just eat 900 calories, just take this injection, just do, and these things, like, they are predatory in the sense that women get so low and feel so desperate for change or for weight loss that they take that low hanging fruit. Because for me to go, trust me, all foods can fit in a healthy diet and you can be really consistent, but it's going to take a lot longer of a time. But once you get there, you just have food freedom for life and you can just live in this really balanced place. Versus when I jumped into the fitness thing, I was eating very much of a, like, your traditional bodybuilder diet, the tilapia, the chicken, the rice. I did keto for a while. I did like 900 to 1200 calories for a while. I thought I wanted to do a figure competition. Like, I went down that rabbit hole, and no shade to anyone. It takes so much discipline, but I am working with the average person. And a lot of times the average person thinks that, oh, because these people are doing this to get ready for a show, that's how you get there. And most of the competitors I've talked to, after they're done competing, they're like, I was not healthy, what I was doing, you know, to get to that place.
Yeah, Christy's the bomb. I had been a fan of hers forever. And finally she answered me back on IG. IG's good for something. Direct messaging is good for some people. It just sucks sometimes. It's like there's so much crap on IG and so many creepers and bullshit that when you have good guys trying to reach out for real content collaborations, a lot of people don't look at those DMs or delete them, and we miss out on a great connection. And this was a great connection. To be so young, to be a young mom, to have a family with her husband and a business that is all about helping other women, other moms, navigate through one of the hardest things in life is to change your body and maintain a healthy body and lifestyle because of the world we live in. She's got a really good plan. It's no BS, but she simplifies it in a way that just makes sense. I highly recommend her. It's like some people you meet and you just go, wow, she gets it. Christy's one of those. And now she's into jiu-jitsu. I just think she's just going to be so successful. I totally recommend any single mom struggling to watch the episode. If nothing else, you get a lot out of that, and then reach out to her. She's here in Vegas, but she does online coaching. So, this is one you don't want to miss. So go back and watch it on Spotify or YouTube right now. There's an edge that a lot of these competitors have over the non-juiced athletes. And by the look of at least your abs, I didn't really see much of your glutes in there. You're in wellness now, and that's what you qualified for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, and you obviously feel confident, which is awesome, but do you also feel like they're cheating and you're not?
I feel like a lot of people don't know how to do anything with their body fully yet. I was almost a pro. I basically was a pro athlete. I've pushed my body to limits that they haven't. When I'm out on the road running, it's still better than track practice. I run through the snow in the winter. When it's ice cold, I'm out there. And that isn't just for that. It itches my knee. It gets everything together. It gets my body moving. It grounds my body. It's a choice to live a certain way. I wouldn't dare damage my body to that extent where the repercussions. I'm already a mom. I don't want more children.
Alicia, wow. Another single mom. This woman has so many excuses. She's one of the very few wellness natty Olympians that have qualified for this year's Olympia. But she's got so many ailments that she has to deal with physically. We won't even get into emotionally, or the emotional attachment to all those illnesses and things that she has to deal with just to make it through a day. She talked about a laundry list of them, and how her and her coach Adam have had to navigate them all to kind of get her to stage not only healthy and natty, but at her best, competing in a division that is filled with PEDs, or as they say in the bodybuilding world, supplements. And this girl, she doesn't even know she's has the perfect foundation for being an inspirational, motivational speaker, for how she's overcome so many obstacles to qualify for Olympia as a wellness athlete, and she's natty. It's just such an incredibly inspiring story. Definitely one to watch. I'm rooting for her so big at this year's show here in Vegas in October. That's a really special cow. You gotta watch that episode. So now let's check out the next one.
When your time is, and even sometime when you don't think it is, I promise you, God will let you know if it's your time. So even if you're sitting there saying, "Yeah, it might not be my time," God will come down and say, "Hey, you know what? No, it's your time now. Embrace it."
Nice.
So you have to believe. You have to believe in that. What's for you will always be. Nothing can take you off the trajectory that God has set for you, no matter what. No person can come and take that away from you. If you're meant to be great, then you'll get there.
Yeah.
It may not be on the same time as somebody else might be there, but sometimes your GPS just takes you a different route. There's more than one ways to get to the same destination.
Dude, this dude is dropping so many gems on this podcast. It's the second time Ryan's been on the show, and it's cool because I got to kind of follow his journey of going from pro to qualifying for the Olympia, and his mindset and his dedication and his determination and all those words that you have to be the best, he stacked them up to finally get over the hill and qualify for the Olympia. He lives here in Vegas. Olympia's here. It's a great story. He's got so many positive statements. It's funny. He talks about God there and how if it's your destiny, nothing is going to stop you. God won't let it stop you. No one will stop you if that's your destination. But it's funny. I recently saw a quote, and I put it on my Facebook account. It said, "Trust me," and signed God. It's just it's hard sometimes, when you're struggling and you're trying to reach whatever goal that you're after. It doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It could be whatever, podcasting. It could be just getting your life to a place where you can retire or whatever. You can live a different life or accomplish something that you've been striving for all your life. It sometimes gets rough and you is this ever going to happen? And you get discouraged. And it's funny, it's my tattoos here is the struggle of faith between believing that it will happen and all the doubt and negativity of it not happening in the time you want it to. It'll happen. I'm saying that as much for me as it is for you. And, there's so much more in this episode. Ryan's becoming a really cool dude. I'm watching it in real time. We're following him on the podcast. It's such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing to be part of these athletes' journeys. And hopefully the people that are watching's journey, and hopefully I inspire you to be your best. So let's check out the next one.
I met Adam
here in Vegas.
No, we actually met in Kansas City, Missouri. Neither of us live there, and neither of us were really supposed to be there. He didn't plan on going, and I kind of decided to go last minute. It was at the Angel Competition Bikinis, the suit company. Mm-hmm. That's my suit sponsor. Mm-hmm. It was one of their fashion shows. Okay. So he came with, I think, Ashley and Sam, and I went up with my friend Savannah, and we met, and just a brief, my best friend Savannah, it was her coach. So I knew Adam for 2.5 years before that, but I knew him as Coach Adam. Right. So I knew of him, but I didn't know him. Right. So we met and just oh, hey, this is my coach. Nice to meet you. Right. Whatever. Right. And then just randomly started talking on Instagram, and that was the spring of 2022. Okay. I think. Yeah. Okay. And then we just dated for a little bit and got married.
Kimber, the other half of Adam of Team Elite Physique. Such a cute couple, another bodybuilding couple. And similar to Bruna and Nate. One's the coach and one's the competitor, and they work together, and it's I want one of those. Anyway, but she's great. I love her story about her chance meeting of Adam and how that just blossomed into a romance, and then quickly, a couple of years, and they're married, and she's living the life, and she got out of nursing because probably it was beating her down, and now she's helping people, really helping people, changing people's lives. She's walking the walk, talking the talk. It's great to see her walking into her greatness, and because she's got a lot to live up to. Adam's one of the genius coaches in bodybuilding, so she's got to represent being his significant other. Adam coaches the queen, the goat of bikini bodybuilding, Ashley, and so she's got to compete with that in her head. So this woman's got to have a strong mindset. She's got to be really connected to a higher self, because there's a lot of noise that could come from all that pressure. And she's just doing her thing. And she's just on her way. It'll be really interesting to see her journey and on her way to hopefully the Olympia soon. And just to see her blossom, and just a lot of good people in the bodybuilding community. It's just nice to see couples that you know that remind me you can find someone in the bodybuilding world and can have a romantic life together, a fitness life together, and it can work. So all you single ladies, just kidding. Well, not really. Anyway, let's see the next one.
When I take on a new client, you know, I find out what's going on in this precious real estate. Where do you spend most of your day when you're in your mind? What are you thinking? What are you saying to yourself? Are you being your own best friend? You wouldn't criticize your best friend. So let me find out what's going on mentally. Let's talk about spirituality. A lot of my male clients, they don't want to talk about that. And then the physical. And the physical is not just the working out. It is the nutrition. It's your relationships, your marriage, parenting, finances. So now I'm taking all of these things. Yes, I'm a Pilates instructor, but I'm bringing them all into the sessions, because what fires me up is helping people live healthier, happier lives, showing them where there's an imbalance in their life.
Nina was great. Miss Boutilates, Pilates and booty work. But so much more depth than that. She is kind of like one of those perfect guests that brings it all together, from relationships to fitness to nutrition. It's all about balance, and that's kind of what Pilates is all about, balance. Whether it's the spine or life or stress or finances or whatever it is, she takes a holistic approach to her clients through Pilates, but she still wants you to do lifting and can help you build a booty as well, because that's important too. Such a pleasure to sit down with her and hear her perspective on life and fitness and wellness and booty, building a booty. Just another great show. Not a single mother, but a mother, has an inspiring story about her offspring, and all on the show. So again, if you're into Pilates and maybe not so much into weights, but you also want to build your booty, you got to reach out to Nina and watch the episode, and let's see the next one.
I know you probably have lifestyle clients and athletes.
Yeah.
What is your gift, do you think, to the sport and to the activity?
Yeah. Everyone's a champion in my mind, and that still comes from my dad. My nickname was Champ, and I call my clients Champ, and some people think it's just, some people don't like it, but everyone really is a champion. If you want to lose 10 pounds, you're just as important as my Olympian. Just send your check-ins, just communicate. Like, I want to see you achieve, whether you're going on the Olympia stage or just losing 10 pounds, or, maybe you have some gut issues and you're just trying to get rid of the acne that comes from that. you know, just your skin clearing up is like a big win. So it doesn't even have to be about weight loss. It can be other things, helping girls come off birth control and get their hormones upregulated back to normal. We focus a lot on the internal health of our athletes.
Another super coach that I love, Adam, and he's a lifestyle and competitive bodybuilding coach. Adam's great. He has such a nice, warming, calming personality, and he's really smart, and he takes care of his clients, as he spoke about there. And he cares about what's going on internally, whether it's their hormones or whatever it is, and kind of works from the outside in or the inside out, because he knows how important that is. He also uses some of the latest technologies in building muscle. He's a really good guy, and I'm pleased to be able to call him a friend. And especially if you're having health issues and you're still striving to be a bodybuilder or your best self physically, you might want to give him a call and reach out to him. He's with See You Later Leaner. That's his coaching company. And you'll really enjoy this guy, I promise. And let's see if we have one more here.
I am just a different breed. I think different, and I will go get whatever I want. And that's what I did. So I was training one morning, and I met Kobe Bryant.
LA now?
I was here in Vegas.
In Vegas?
At a gym.
Okay.
And he was in town for the USA basketball when they were out here playing during the summer.
All right.
So he was doing a morning workout. And my client was like, "You need to turn around." And I was like, "No, I'm not worried about who's behind me. I don't care." She's like, no, you're going to want to see this one. So I turn around and I'm like, "Is that Kobe?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's Kobe." And he keeps looking over here. And I was like, "Okay, well, let's go over there."
Right.
And to this day, I was the only one allowed around in that little circle where he was.
Right.
And he came up to me and introduced himself. And he was just like, "You're different. What do you do?" And I was just like, "I'm just average." That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm just an average person training my client.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, you're different. You're different." And then, so anyway, he ended up getting my information. I went and stretched him later that day. He's like, "Shannon, you're like 3 people in one." And I was like, "I don't understand. You've had the best of the best work on you. Like, I don't understand how I'm so different."
Right.
He's like, "Do you know what you want to do in life?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying to figure that out right now." And he's like, "This is the route you need to go. This is you. This is your skill. You're different."
Shannon was really cool to talk to. Love her mindset, like a go-getter. Another single mom, or maybe I think she was single when I was interviewing her. Anyway, getting that tip on the shoulder from Kobe, telling her you're on the right path. Kobe, I know a lot of people can be Kobe haters, but his mindset to be great was unparalleled. And I think she just rode that wave, and she's just crushing it. And a great inspirational story. So many stories. She knows so many people through her business. She's also here in Las Vegas. But watch that episode. Really good people. And if you need to get stretched or get worked on, she's your woman. Check her out. Well, so that's it, I guess, for now. World according to Gioslogic. My opinion, my perspective, my recap of the shows that we've had over the last, year. And until next time, BitBam, be healthy and get inspired. Until next time, I'm out.